Hello, this is Berzinsky from Beardbrand Alliance, and today I'm joined by
Travis White.
And guess what we're going to talk about today? Yes, long hair. We're going to give you 5 ways that you can style long hair. Stay tuned. So here we set 2 guys with long hair. Trav, how long have you been growing your hair?
Yep, so I've been growing my hair for about, actually exactly 2 years. And I know that because on March 10th, 2018, I got married. And that was right before my wedding, was my last official haircut. And so that kind of marked the date where I started growing my hair out. And today's what, March 13th, March 12th, something like that. So it's...
So Trav's picture here?
Yeah, so this is where, for my wedding, this was where I started growing it out. And literally 24 months to the date, this is where I'm at now. And I've gotten it cut, not even cut, just kind of trimmed and balanced out to grow evenly, maybe twice along the way.
Yep. So here's my last haircut. You can see this on the Beardbrand Alliance channel, where I had the last cut by Jake the Barber. So that's about in July 2 years ago. So I'm not quite at 2 years. So what is that, about 21 months is where I'm setting that. And likewise, I've had about 2 trims. I've had 1 major trim and just cutting off, as Jake says, the lettuce as your hair grows out, just evening out the bottom. You're not really cutting much length off. It's just to get more of a blunt look at the bottom. So both of us have actually taken a route that basically says don't get your hair cut every 4 to 6 weeks. If you really want to grow your hair, you're actually not going to cut it as much. That's the approach that we've both taken. My son is taking that approach by just staying away from the barber for a little bit. I think as your hair gets longer, you can address whether you want to start styling it and going to the barber more, but I think that's another video.
Yeah, we want to give you some tips and tricks, 5 specific ways that you can style long hair and still look professional, still look awesome in your occupations or going on dates or whatever you're going to be doing. And so which is the first one you want to talk about?
Well, we can actually start with what we're looking at right now.
Yeah.
So both of us sit here with no product in our hair. So we can talk a little bit about that, pluses and minuses to wearing product in your hair. And it really depends on how you're going to style your hair. As we're doing different looks on our hair, it's a little easier for us to style it without too much product in it. But that doesn't mean that you don't use product as you're growing out your hair. I've talked about that a lot in some of my videos where sea salt spray is my go-to. If you were going to use product, what's your go-to?
So typically I'll use product right after I wash my hair and dry it. So I'll use a heat protectant and I'll spray that all through my hair. And if I blow dry it, it's typically has a little bit of frizz to it. It's kind of all over the place. And I'll use a texturizing spray. And what that does is kind of tame the frizzes a little bit. Also gives it just a little bit more volume. And that's if I'm going to be wearing it down. If I'm going to be putting it back, like pulled back or in a bun or something like that, I will go no product. But wearing it down, I might put a little bit of texturizing spray at the roots of the hair. Yeah.
Typically I start out, mine is sequencing based on washing my hair. And I wash my hair, usually day number 1, my hair is down. And just because it's going to be its fullest, it's going to be its most clean, and it's going to look probably its best down for me.
When was the last time you washed your hair for this cut?
I washed my hair 3 hours ago.
Okay, so this is actually my 2nd day hair.
Okay.
I washed my hair not yesterday, but the day before. So I'm on 2nd day hair right now, and it's starting to get, so probably tomorrow and the next day, before I wash it, I'll probably do it in a bun.
Yeah. So that seems to be a recurring theme with guys who have long hair. Day 1, day 2, wear the hair longer. As it gets dirty, as it gets a little more flat, having options to do some of the techniques that we're going to talk about now on either pulling it up, pulling it back, and
yeah.
Let's jump into this.
Notice the parts though as well too. Yep. He has a middle part. Is that where your part naturally lies, or do you kind of?
I think my natural part might be just slightly off middle.
Okay, so my natural part kind of runs to the side over here, and I like wearing my hair with most of it over to one side and a little bit over to the other. I have done it where I wear a middle part. Let's see if I can pull that out real quick. I don't get as much volume, I think. It's a little bit flatter. Keep in mind this is my 2nd day hair, so it's starting to flatten out a little bit. But I typically like having the part on one side
Right.
and majority on the other.
Very different look. So that's actually look number one. You can wear your hair down, pretty natural, with or without product. In our case, minimal product. But how you part your hair is going to really change the look of it. So you actually saw with Trav right now, with his hair on the side, I would say that's a very current, that's a very 2020 look on a way a guy would wear long hair. When you parted your hair in the center, and could you do that for us again?
Yeah.
This actually can go retro, and we're talking 1970s retro, or we can talk 33 AD retro. You can go biblical, really
real biblical.
Biblical, long hair parted in the middle, can give you that very greatest story ever told look, or very summer of '69 by parting it in the middle.
Yeah.
So especially if you have straighter hair, definitely changes the look. When you part to the side, I do think it's a more current look by throwing that deep part to the side, tucking it behind the ears you had before. So in my case, if my hair is slightly off center, by pulling my hair off to the side and tucking it back, doesn't quite have that 70s look as it does when it's in the center. So that's look number one, with a little couple of subsets. Wearing your hair down and choosing where you put the part, whether it's in the center or on the side. And you can play around with that day to day, or just play around with it. A lot of guys end up fiddling with their hair all day long.
Yeah, I'm constantly doing this, and I think one thing to add is, as you do your daily routine, your hair might change throughout the day. So if I'm eating, I might temporarily put it back, just so my hair is not down, it's not getting all in my face, getting into my food. So keep in mind that it's not just because it's down as you're styling it for the day, it doesn't mean you're going to keep it down all day.
Right.
So second look, my second go-to is usually just a man bun. And typically I like, if your hair's long enough, I like to keep the bun visible. So usually not all the way on top. I think that has a little bit of a feminine look to it, but back enough to where you can see it. If you're looking straight on at me, you can still see it, but perhaps not the full bun.
Right.
So the height of the bun, I think, changes the look completely.
Right.
Typically, if I'm going to tie a bun, see if I can do it on the spot right here, about right here.
Right.
So not too high.
But visible. I made a video
visible.
recently. It has to show. If it doesn't show, so whether you're wearing that slightly on the back at the crown of his head or slightly forward, it's got to show for me to be classified as a man bun.
Yeah.
Now, a bun can be a number of things. It's bun typically is when you're pulling your hair wrapped up in some way. So that can be anywhere on the back of your head to the top of your hair. I have a daughter, and her girlfriends actually, with significant amount of hairs, when they wear their hair on top of their hair, on top of their head, they actually name their buns. They get their own names because they take on a personality of their own.
Yeah.
So if you're a guy and you're going to wear your bun up here, you better be prepared that it's coming. People are going to see that bun coming first. So it's a lot of statement when you do that. Moving it back to your head, and that's actually a pretty rule of thumb. The more forward the bun is, the more statement it is. As you move it back to the point where it disappears, the less statement.
Yeah.
So man bun, so that's your man bun?
Yeah, this is how I would typically
that wasn't that's your man bun.
This is my man bun. Typically, one tip to go along with it is your man bun doesn't have to look too polished.
Exactly, yeah.
Yeah, I think the messier it is, the more character it adds to your hair.
Now, what's the danger in having a neat man bun?
So having a neat man bun, too polished, too slicked back, I think it's more a little feminine. I think having something more messy, more kind of off the cuff. If your hair comes out down a little bit, if there's some hair showing, if it's sticking out a little bit, I think it just adds a little more ruggedness to wearing for guys to have long hair.
Right.
Would you agree?
I totally agree. I think that also speaks of 2020 where we are today. It's just not as studied, not quite as polished. And I think it looks a little more rugged, as you said.
Yeah.
Now, like if you do slick it back, and that's an option for any of these hairstyles that we're going to talk about, you could do a very studied, very pulled back, slick back. You could use a pomade. You could use a number of products to get that slick look. But you're going for more of a 1980s long hair look. think Steven Seagal, you know, wearing a ponytail in the back, slick back look.
Yep.
It's a look. I wouldn't say it's the most flattering on a lot of guys. It's that kind of look. Really, you got to have the face really going on. And, you know, it's pulling all the attention up there. But it's making a statement that you might not be wanting to make in 2020.
And I think one thing to add, if you are going to wear your hair up in a bun or something like that, you want to make sure that you have a little bit of grooming to just add some character to it. I think having a beard with a bun is a really strong look. I think I struggle to grow a lot of sideburns, but I do my best to keep sideburns in. But if you can grow sideburns, definitely have it connecting to where your hair comes down. I think just adding a little, even if it's a shadow, adding a little bit of facial hair to long hair really adds to the character of the look.
Yeah, it adds to that character. It becomes more rugged immediately. So no one's going to be misconstrued with having a more feminine looking bun per se on the top of your head if you have some facial hair. So link. I think it's a perfect link, putting a man bun with a beard. Whether that goes hipster or not, I think really depends on how you're styling your beard, how you style the man bun, and putting it all together. So as we've talked about having a man bun, that's visible. My choice for pulling my hair back a lot of times is the ponytail. So getting my hair off my face, as you've talked about, sometimes eating during the day, you might pull your hair back. I tend to, when my hair's down, it's down. So I try to not lean over my food when I'm eating. I try to control that because I want to milk that long hair first day vibe for me, which is generally the best look my hair is going to have when it's long, when it's most clean, when it's most full. But if I, say in day 2 or day 3, when I want to pull my hair back, and we're talking days here, neither one of us are washing our hair every day.
Nope.
And we've talked about that before on, in multiple channels. As your hair gets longer, you actually tend to wash it less because it just takes long. It's a bigger commitment, but you're saving time in the long run because you're not doing it every day.
I actually have to plan out the showers that I wash my hair because that's how long that it takes most of the time.
There used to be a line in some vintage movies, a girl, she didn't really want to go out with the guy anyhow, but she would say, "I can't go out with you tonight, I have to wash my hair tonight." So planning her hair, planning the washing of her hair.
I can relate to that now.
Might as well planning it so I have time to do it. It sounds like, well, then why do you have long hair if it's so a chore? It's a look, and it's great to have long hair. You're noticed because of your long hair.
For sure. It's a statement. It's definitely a statement.
People see it coming. I get stopped constantly about my long hair, especially mine being gray. It's long and gray. People do, stop and talk about it. So that's another thing. Don't let gray hair stop you from actually growing it long if you want to grow it long. Yeah. So my go-to then for pulling my hair back would be the ponytail. So I guess that would be look more number 3. And a lot of times I can actually do that without looking. And once again, this is kind of straight back, and I'm not going to slick it back. I'm not even going to comb it back. I'm actually might want to put my fingers through it and mess it up a little bit or loosen it up, just so it doesn't look as tight.
Give him a side profile. How's it look from the side? Nice. Yeah, I like.
So it's not studying it, not being too concerned about how precise the look is. And I think that's where men's hair is in 2020. When you have a short barbershop cut, precision, a lot of times you want precision. You're going to a barber and you might be going every 2 to 3 weeks to get that really sharp taper on the back, really sharp fades, really nice lines. As your hair gets longer, it's a little more fluid, a little more loose. And that's the beauty of having longer hair, is that looseness and that less studied look that sometimes happens when you do have longer hair. So Trav, what do we have for look number 4?
So for look number 4, I think a good go-to is, for a more casual look, is kind of having a half bun, half down. And it kind of looks something like this. Let me see if I can start this over. It's kind of taking at the crown of your head and leaving the rest of it down. Kind of like that.
Yep. So my
half
variation,
up, half down. Like
yeah.
that.
So turn sideways. You can see half up, half down with a little man bun. My variation on this, and sometimes I'll wear this, and this will lead into number 5, is do the half up, half down. I actually tend to take less hair, so I have more hair actually down, and that's what you can also do. So you can take a lot of hair and pin it back, but leave some in the back, more of a mullet kind of look. I tend to pull up toward the crown to get as much hair hanging down. And what I'll do is I wear
I like a ponytail.
a ponytail, half
pony.
up, down, half down.
So there's 2 variations of
Yeah.
it. You can do a bun or a ponytail, half up, half down.
And variation of this is I braid the ponytail, you know, so for some of that kind of Viking look. This is like lots of time in the world and I'm bored, braid the ponytail.
Yeah.
But what this look does for me, well, first of all, like you wear this.
I'd probably wear this with like a denim jacket or a leather jacket. I probably wouldn't dress this hairstyle up in a suit. If I'm doing a suit, I'm probably gonna go full bun or wear it down.
Right.
So, but this look I think is a little more edgy, a little more casual. Definitely changes up your look a little bit. So I would go dress this one down.
Yeah, so my dress down, this is a gym look for me actually. I tend to wear my hair, I like it down at the gym. I get the kind of a cool vibe, even at the gym with my hair down. But getting it off my eyes, especially if I'm doing anything like a row where I'm leaning over a bench, or if I'm doing any kind of delt work on my stomach, on the back, I don't want my hair flying in my face. So I'll pull it back, wear half up, half down on those occasions also.
So for the 5th and final look, we can add an accessory to our head and have the hair half showing, half covered up. There's several ways you can do this. One is with a baseball cap, like we have right here, and we have our hair hanging down a little bit. A beanie is really good. Here's a picture of I was wearing a beanie with this look, and a top hat. I think wearing a stylish hat, even a messenger hat, I think would look good too.
Yeah, poor boy
newsboy hat, something like that, like a Peaky Blinders hat maybe.
Yep. Great looks for long hair. You got that look with David Beckham. He wore that look a lot, wearing a news boy cap with the longer hair in the back. Lots of great looks for wearing hats. There you go, guys. 5 ways that you can be styling your hair in 2020. Hopefully this was helpful and will help you incorporate some of these looks into your regiment as you grow out your long hair. Don't be afraid to play around, and if you have other ways that you're styling long hair, please comment below and tell us what they are. And until we meet again,